Average house price here in London, £486,000. That is so much higher, nearly £300,000 the national average in the UK. Your pay increases by 1% every year. Housing prices go up by nearly 8% a year. How can you keep up with that? You just can't. And we need a better solution. So I want to get your thoughts right now. Please type in and tell me, do you personally struggle to afford to pay rent in this city and why? Do you personally struggle to buy an affordable home and why? Do you believe that our key workers, I'm talking about our teachers, our nurses, our firefighters, our police, do you think that they deserve to have affordable housing in this city? Answer me this question. Has the current mayor of London failed in his promises to build affordable homes? And finally, I want you to tell me, do you think we need new leadership? Do you think we need new policies? Do you think we need to take London in a new direction? So please type in your thoughts and answers on whatever platform you're watching this on, before and after. I want to hear that. And man, my screen's lighting up with all of your answers here. Again, I really appreciate you being here on these broadcasts. I appreciate you sharing this video, even right now, with your friends and family so they can join us. Everyone needs to know these numbers. If you're armed by the data, then the politicians, they can't talk over you. Then you know when they're telling you the truth and when they're lying to you. Rosbaz on Instagram says, quote, love that this is a born American checking the English folks, all right? Look, I appreciate you saying this. The truth is that I've lived in this city for 20 years. I feel like a Londoner. I've been a British citizen for 13 years. My kids were born here. They're British. I plan on being buried in this city. So although the accent might trick you, I am a Londoner born and bred. Don't get that confused. And I look forward to taking this city in a new direction. The truth is this city has always been enriched by the people that have immigrated to this place, including the Romans, the Saxons, the Vikings, and so many other people from all over Europe and all over the world. It makes us stronger. So I appreciate that. Frost on Instagram says, Brian for mayor, I appreciate that. Andre Costa says the same thing, Brian for mayor, as does Nikki Vincent. I appreciate your sentiment. Nori Maria on Instagram says, Brian, quote, you're full of energy. We need you and you're ready to change London. I appreciate that. And Björ Yusinov on Instagram says, quote, I love London and so do I. And you know, a lot of people say, Brian, where does the energy come from? Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't even know. The last 3 months since I announced my plans to become your mayor, I've got energy I never knew. I always had a lot of energy doing London Real, but now I feel that there's this extra source. And I think it's because I feel like I'm finally living my life's purpose to make a major change in a major city and really serve 9 million people. But I've got so much energy, I can barely sleep at night. I'm just always thinking of ways that we can make this city better. So I appreciate you noticing, all right? On housing, we've got Zixtro Fitness on Instagram saying, quote, all the politicians do is say what the people want to hear, but the actions are nil. And I appreciate you pointing that out. And that's the truth. And that's why we have to go back and find out what they said. And like I said, our current mayor of London promised to build 80,000 houses per year. This year, he built 1,600, all right? I mean, you can see the track record there. And again, they tell you what they want to hear, but then they don't deliver, and that's unacceptable. Dominic on YouTube says, quote, it makes it very difficult for those in the arts from working class backgrounds to keep their heads above water in a city they need to be in to progress their careers. Dominic, I couldn't agree with you more. The reason I love London is because of the great culture of this city. And that comes from people in the arts. It comes from independent entrepreneurs. It comes from people all around the world. And if they can't afford to live here, then we don't have a great city anymore. So we have to address this problem. It's so important. Christina Valentina on Instagram says, quote, I'm a nurse. We don't just need affordable housing. We need housing that we fully own, not just 5% or 30%. It's a great point, Christina, and I couldn't agree with you more. We have to have affordable housing to buy and to rent. We need to give people the option. But how can you do this, Valentina, if the average house price is £465,000? It's ridiculous. We need more affordable housing, and I'm going to show you exactly how we do that next. We've got the Joel Dio on Instagram that says, quote, nice dude, good structure. I'm glad you're keeping things transparent. I appreciate you. And again, I'm here hopefully to teach you things every single week that you can use to make intelligent decisions. And again, I want you to make your own decisions. So this is information for you. Tell me, do you agree? Do you don't agree? Make your own decision and then use your vote to get someone in power who's going to act in your interests. That's what a democracy is all about. Let's make it happen. A few other points from social coming in right now. Jason on Instagram says, quote, I personally struggle to see how Sadiq Khan could improve this city. Jason, You said it. I do as well. I struggle to see how another 3 years of this guy is going to do anybody any good. So the one way to show that is to vote. That's on May 6th. Wandering in Heels, great name on Instagram, says, quote, Sadiq Khan is the worst mayor we have ever had. Knife crime has never been so bad in the UK. Sadiq Khan has also ruined the city's public transportation system, unquote. You've said it so well. The last two episodes I've had here on Real Deal, we've discussed exactly that. Last week, we spoke very seriously and soberly about knife crime and how it's gotten to nightmare proportions. And before that, we talked about the mayor's continued failings when it comes to Transport for London and bankrupting that entity. I appreciate your thoughts, and I promise to solve those as soon as I get into office. Sim 2.0 on IG says, quote, how can you do better than Sadiq? Honestly, how can I do any worse? Seriously, how can anyone do any worse than what this man has done? It's so easy, and I'm going to show you what we can do on housing. With knife crime, I outlined it last week. With TfL, I outlined it before that. The truth is I have detailed policies on exactly what I will do as your next mayor of London. You can go to brianformayor.london. Of all the candidates currently running for mayor, my policies are more detailed, and yet I started later than them, and I don't have a party with thousands of members and hundreds of millions of pounds in financing, and yet my policies are more detailed and, quite frankly, better than theirs. So yeah, just go on my website. I'll show you exactly how, but I appreciate you asking me. Let's hold our politicians to task, definitely. Also, I can operate outside of their system. There is no one telling me what to do except for me and you telling me what to do. It's beautiful. It's the way politics should work. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way anymore. A couple last questions before I finish off. Vitaly Albu on Instagram says, quote, people are afraid. They can't do anything. It is horrible what's going on. You're right. Next, we have Ihani Macris on Instagram. It says, quote, take away the congestion charge. Get London working again. I couldn't agree with you. Part of my Get London Back to Work policy is removing the congestion charge for 6 months on a congestion charge holiday and dropping business rates to zero for the next 6 months. We have to do it right now to get London back to work. We've got George Pavitt on YouTube that says, quote, key workers, NHS, police, and fire services deserve better pay. I'd like to see a government that values the public sector. I'd like to see your thoughts, and I appreciate that. We appreciate key workers. They are essential and they need housing solutions. Otherwise, what are we going to do as a city? We've got to find affordable housing. Otherwise, we have no teachers. We have no nurses. We have no firefighters. We have no police, which means we have no city. So we've got to look out for these people, and it all starts with affordable housing.